Hey guys, how's it going? It's your Captain Yeehaw Ya Dom here, back with some more One Piece content. So, yeah, I know this is another Law versus Law mirror match, but, I promise this will be the only one for this week. So I went ahead and went to locals, took Law, got all the new anniversary things from Bandai Premium, and I was like, man, what deck goes well with all these Namis and Choppers and things like that? Law. So, this is a deck that I currently do enjoy just playing in general. I mean, there are some hands that could be created by this deck that are not too fun to play with or too interactive, but the deck is, overall a ton of fun, very, very powerful, and I just wanted to give it a shot. So this is my current version of Law, the version that I think there's like very little tweaks that I can make in terms of like the ratios. I think personally there's like 45 cards in this deck that I'm very content with, and another 5 that are pretty interchangeable. So my opponent wins that I roll, opts to go first, goes starter deck Nami. I go and respond with Curly to Dawn. And then he goes Brook. Brook is going to go ahead and attach 2 Dawn to the leader. And then he's just going to go ahead and attach another Dawn and go 8 at my leader. So regardless of what this number was, I believe I was going to take it. Once he played the Brook, I was certainly going to take the 7. And then attaching the extra Dawn was just icing on the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and go for 5. And he takes the 5, and now I get to play with 4 additional Dawn. I'm going to go ahead and play the Vista, which I think is a very powerful card in this matchup. I'm going to go ahead and KO the Nami. The Brook was another great choice because it's another fantastic target for them to shamble up. And I do have the Chopper in my hand, but I opt to go for the Veggie at this time. And I pass it back to my opponent. Now, because I do have the Law, I think maybe Chopper would have been a better choice, but I don't think I'm shambling up any of those cards anytime soon. So either way, it's basically about the same thing. Going to go back to my opponent's turn. He has 5 total Dawn to work with. And let's see what he does with the 5 Dawn. With 5 Dawn and 1 character on the board, I don't really think he's going to be able to do much. Maybe he hits me with like 5, plays Law, bounces the Brook, and then plays a Zoro. Something of that like line. So it might have been better to KO the Brook. He goes ahead and hits me for 5. I go ahead and take this 5, and this may be the last 5 I choose to take. He goes ahead and plays Curly to Dawn. Dawn's going to go look at the top 5. Oh, it looks like I got a Red Hawk out of life. That's going to be really nice. I really enjoy Red Hawk in general. Just a really solid tech card. I have been playing in a Law for quite some time. The double trigger of Supernova Straw Hat is really, really nice. Its trigger in life is actually excellent. And the defense that it brings you in this mirror match as well as the Zoro matchup is really, really solid. So just an overall banger of a card that I like to play in my Law deck. He's going to go ahead and play Curly. Curly's going to find Chopper. He's going to play the Chopper. And he opts to pass. Now, my opponent could be playing Red Hawk as well, right? Leaving up to is like, is he actually playing Red Hawk here or not? So I'm going to have to play around as best as I can. The best way that I can play around it is by bouncing up my Vista, right? The rest of the cards on my board aren't necessarily too important. Yeah, I don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and play Nami. Nami's going to go ahead and look at the top 5 cards in my deck. This new rarity of Nami is really, really cool. It's going to go ahead and I believe it's going to whiff. I'm going to go ahead and stack it's 3 Laws and then Curly D and a Nami. So stack it in a way that the Curly D can find the Nami for later. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Chopper. I'm going to go ahead and shamble. Play 1 for the Chopper, 2 for the shamble. I'm going to bounce up the Vista. Play the Law. Law's going to go ahead and get me back the Nami. And I'm going to play the Vista. Vista's going to go ahead and come down. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the Curly to Dawn. Right, so if he wants to go ahead and Red Hawk me here, sure, you can get the Vista now, but at least I got the value from it already, right? So that's what I'm thinking on currently. Because I do think it's coming. I don't think there's much more that he could do with that play. And I do want to keep up 2 Dawn for my own Red Hawk, but there is like an argument to be made to go 5 attack with the Vista first. But if I do that, then I don't get to shamble up this turn, and he gets to pop my Curly to Dawn instead. Which I'm not sure if that would be better. Nah, that just can't be better. So it takes a little while to think about this here. I think he does end up, he's going to go ahead and tap 2. He's going to play the Gum Gum Red Hawk, and it's going to go ahead and KO my Vista. It's just too important because if I, since I have the Vista and he doesn't at this point in time, if I get to just keep that card on the board, I'm just going to keep using it over and over and over again. It's going to be really hard for him to go ahead and establish board presence. My hand is very defensive, bunch of 2Ks, a Red Hawk, Nami, and a Bonnie, so my hand is set up to go literally wherever it wants for the rest of the game. So my opponent's going to go down to 7 Dawn. with 7 Dawn, he definitely could shamble up, right? So you have 2 after the shamble. That's going to leave him with 5 total Dawn. He has 3 total slots. So if he goes ahead and plays 3 characters at a 1 cost, that's going to be 2 Dawn extra. So he goes ahead and attaches a Dawn here. So every time you see things like that, you want to start trying to calculate exactly where your opponent can go this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Red Hawk right off the bat, remove the Brook, make it a little bit harder for him to play his turn, right? So he committed a Dawn. He has 6 left, 2 for Shamble. Now he has 4 left. So it has to be exactly 4 1-drops in his hand in order for him to be able to get that Shamble off his turn. And he plays a Nico Robin, which means that he certainly can do it. Plays a Zoro, and he passes it back to me. His hand size, I think at this point in time, is now really, really low. But his board is a little bit stickier now. I do draw for turn, and it is another Vista, which is a little unnecessary. But from here on out, I just get to do a lot of gaming. So, me being at 8 Dawn, 2 for Shamble, 2 for Bonnie, that's going to be 4 Dawn removed. So then I have 4 total Dawn to work with. Bonnie's going to go ahead and look at the top 5. I'm going to go ahead and add another Red Hawk. That's going to go ahead and, yep, I'm going to stack it in a better way. I'm trying to think of what other better way I can do it. And that seems to be the way. I'm going to add the Red Hawk. That means I have 2 total Dawn to work with on offense, which means Curly the Dawn is going to have to get in there this turn. And then once you like start backtracking like what your Dawn management is, you're able to clearly see the turn that you want to go ahead and do, right? So if I put 2 on Curly, I go 5. I then shamble up Curly for a Law. Law's going to bounce up the Bonnie, if I have one, right? I don't know at this time if I do or don't. No, I don't. I don't seem to have one. My hand is very questionable. I don't have the Law to get me the restand here, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and attack 5 with Curly the Dawn. I think this is just going to be a swing 5 with the leader. And even though Curly the Dawn can go, I don't really think it's too much of an issue. I'm going to go 6 with the Law. I'm just going to put as much pressure as I possibly can. See if he opts to take this 6. I do believe that your Laws just have to turn sideways. I do have double blocker here, and the blockers are going to have to, you know, just get their values worth. For him to really push through this Law and all these cards in my hand, it's going to take up a lot of his turn. So I don't believe that at any point in time he's going to be able to push through this. So this just seems like the move for me. Just apply as much pressure as humanly possible. It goes down to 0. Now I do play the run blockable Luffy. So if I do end up finding one soon, this game ends up being over very, very quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and shamble up the Bonnie and play a Vista. It's going to remove the Chopper. So his next turn is going to be, again, I just keep taxing a character off of his board as much as I can, and eventually he's just going to not be able to really do the Law thing. So he's going to go finally to his 10 Dawn turn. I should probably... yeah, he should be at 10 Dawn. So it's a little bit tough. I really don't know exactly what the ordering is here on how you want to go ahead and do these attacks. In order to remove as many cards as possible from my board, because that's another issue with Law. Like, we do want cards to get removed off of our board more often than not, right? So if you are attacking this Curly the Dawn, right, you go like leader at Curly D, I would probably just let it go through and then see what your Nico Robin does from there, right? Because I know that one of these blockers it's just going to disappear more likely than not, but I don't think he has a real out to this 5-drop Law. He's gonna go 5 with the Zoro, and I think it was Curly the Dawn here, but that has to be a mistake because I just get to Red Hawk the Nico Robin for free, and now my board is not going anywhere anytime soon. He's gonna go 5 at the Curly the Dawn. I'm gonna let it go through. I don't even have to block anymore. And now what does he do with the rest of the turn? Now since he doesn't have any more life as well, I do get to just cycle heavily for the Luffy, and if I do find the Luffy, then the game just immediately ends, right? Since I do have Bonnie and Inami in my hand. If he is able to amass another attack, I certainly will block just to give myself the ability to find those cards. He's going to go ahead and play a 8-drop Eustace Captain Kid, use Nami's ability to place a Dawn under it, and then use Eustace's ability to rest himself and play a Beji. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn. I draw a Veggie. And I'm like, well, that's annoying. And I have to find a way to out this 8-drop Eustace Captain Can. This is kind of like what Law used to have to deal with in the past. It was really good at dealing with Eustace because of this exact play. I go Otama for 1. I don't play pistols in my deck, right? But if I do play pistol, I could just pistol it, right? I'm going to go ahead and tap 2, play the Otama back, reduce it by another 2. Would have been really, really solid if I had like a Law to play here, but I don't have it, so I'm going to go 4 at 4. Now that Eustace is reduced by 4 total cost, and I've only used 4 Dawn in order to achieve that, which is really, really nice. At the end of the day, I am probably going to lose an Otama for this, but my board is just going to continue to replace itself. There's nothing really threatening on my opponent's side, and I do think this is pretty fine. So it gives me a 1k, especially in an aggressive 1k. I'm going to go 6 at the Eustace. He blocks. I'm going to go 6 at the Eustace. It goes. And so crisis averted. Crisis averted. And then I'm thinking to myself, what exactly can I do with the rest of my turn? He has very few cards in hand. And I do have a Machina with a Chopper on the board. And I know that sounds extremely troll, but he's going to have to give me cards in hand. I'm going to go ahead and replace this Otama. Otama's going to target the Chopper. I'm going to go just 7 at lead, right? And it is just enough. Quite a weird little finisher there where Chopper gets to finally win you the game, which is really, really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Gotta leave a like for the Chopper KO. As always, guys, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the video, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section. And if you guys are enjoying this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more OP TCG content. I get that Law versus Law, we've done it before, but moving forward, I promise to do a little bit less of that. I just had to show you guys this Mitch. It was really, really cool. Later.